My new friends and friends to be, you have graced us with your presence in this world at a terribly dicey time, because you now live in a world of uncertainty. On one side, there are people fighting against global problems like climate change, poverty, and lack of education, while on the other side, one word defines reality, and that is injustice. People are finding ways to destroy our lives, and growth is being restricted only to the elite few. There are these generations of people who shoot innocent animals to show their power, children who blackmail their flower seller parents to buy them the latest iPhone, and youngsters who shake the very foundation of their nations. However, here's something you definitely did not expect. That in all this drama, my generation and the ones after came up with a brilliant solution. My friends, this is an innovation, rather a chain of innovations that would not just solve every global conflict out there, but will also eradicate every disease to ever strike humanity. Here they are. Yes, these are our innovations. Fidget spinners, puppets, and Air Jordans. And while they begin to fill our homes, our discussions, and even our minds, there's something very scary about our present that they represent. Something very serious that they represent, and that is that you and I are stuck in a vicious cycle of over-obsession. Obsession with trends, obsession with external validation, and obsession with seeking reassurance. In every event and every discussion, we ask ourselves if we are wearing the right brand, we are wearing the right perfume, the right watch, using the right phone, driving the right car, and owning the right trends. We think to ourselves if we are good looking enough, stylish enough, and most importantly, trendy enough. My friends, this is nothing but the pandemic of validation craving. Just think about it. That let's say in a gathering, a person comes with a Gucci shirt, an LV belt, baggy cargo jeans, extremely curly hair, the confidence of speaking nonchalantly with, and a straight jawline to do this with, then immediately we see all the female and male attention diverting towards him or her, and we wonder what we are lacking. Do you know what this means? It means that you and I are growing up in a society where social comparison is just unavoidable. It means that you and I are living in a society where our respect will always be tied to the possessions we have, and it means that you and I are living in a society where our respect will always not just be tied to our possessions, but the society will always prioritize good looks over true good nature. This, my friends, is not just the case with you. This is the situation of every social media user on the planet, where there is cutthroat competition just to remain relevant. We are so crushed by this pressure to remain relevant and match our cool influencers that we fight to have the same Stanley Cups, same handbags, and those same sneakers that they endorse, and literally die to live that same fake royalty that most of them just flaunt. And you know what happens next? There begins the usual cycle of consume, purchase, validation, and repeat. And whether you like it or not, or whether it may be from your self-made decisions or peer pressure, we start spending more than what our wallet allows us, and we always are stuck in that cycle, thinking that happiness is just one more purchase away. There is no better example of this than my closet and the iPhone. For example, 5 to 6 years ago, my closet consisted of simple superhero t-shirts, basic denim jeans, and basic black sport shoes. And though they were simple, I assure you, they made me feel like the center of attraction and an Olympian in every party I went to, until I saw this. And now my closet is completely baggy cargo jeans and 75% oversized t-shirts. Moving on to the iPhone, I want you all to have a look at this. Now, for context, what's happening here is that a young boy is threatening his flower seller mother to buy him the latest iPhone by being on a hunger strike for 3 full days. With no option left, the mother toiled, and all her sacrifice, her sweat, her dignity, and her survival was reduced to a mere tool to glorify consumerism. And you know what's worse? That instead of condemning the boy's selfishness, the interviewer in the video romanticized it as the iPhone lover's power. This isn't just a smartphone anymore, it is a status symbol whose logo and perceived superiority can give you all the external attention, all the social respect, and all the social validation that you and I crave for all our lives. Because somehow, some way, it has now been engraved into human psychology that iPhone users are more attractive, more prestigious, more wealthy, and therefore more intelligent as well. And I'm not just saying this, it has actually been seen that society treats such people with a higher status and higher identity in comparison to other phone users. Maybe it's just that I am ignorant. But for me, isn't it crazy to think that people's social relationships and social interactions can be impacted by a simple phone? And how our over-obsession with trends and validation can turn our old backpack into a crime, our plain desk into a failure, or our routines into irrelevant, our emotions into senseless, and our aesthetic into ugly until we start calling ourselves useless. None, my friends, none of this is your fault. Because we've grown up surrounded by a world of first impressions. But we cannot allow this to destroy us. So first, we need to identify that impulse, that trigger for our impulse spending. According to Forbes and several self-help articles like developgoodhabits.com, the way to do this is to ask yourself whether that spending is due to the love for buying new things, or is it due to FOMO? Is it due to peer pressure, or is it due to that idea of saving even when you don't need it when deals come along? You need to ask yourself if that obsession of yours is for your happiness, for your personal achievements. You need to ask whether you will still value the thing you're obsessing over 1 or 2 years down the line as much as you're doing right now. And just think about it, that if you don't post this purchase or this trip or this event on social media, then will it be fine with you? Will it give you the same amount of happiness and satisfaction? Second, we need to combat this problem with strategy. Reduce and control your temptations by avoiding going to large shopping areas unless necessary. Implement the 30-day rule, where you wait for a month before buying something you really, really wanted. Compare, test, and evaluate the product with others to prevent the buyer's remorse before actually committing to buy something. And commit and obediently follow a plan or a list of your purchases that you shall create beforehand. However, if this does not suit you and you're more like me who isn't planning to work as hard, then make small and atomic changes, like shifting back to cash to make most of your discretionary payments, because the thing about credit cards and online payment platforms is that they are meant to make large transactions seem seamless, seem effortless, due to which you don't feel any difference between paying $10 and let's say $10,000. Then reduce your online shopping, because however resolute you are, these sites are so well designed that they will eventually coax your impulse spending. And finally, divert your funds in such a way that you have lesser money laying around just for discretionary purposes, just for needless purchases. And finally, we need to eliminate that root cause for our obsession with validation. Reduce your consumption with social media. And just stop letting other people decide our worth. Yeah? Because if you let other people decide your worth, then you will never know how to live your own self. These people are threatening you. These people are making you feel bad about yourself because they feel threatened by you. Right? Be aware of your values, your identity, and your purpose, and don't just trade them for other people's happiness, because as I mentioned, if this is happening, if your society, if your friends are excluding you, then that just means that they feel threatened by you. That just means that the traditional norm feels threatened by you who chose to live his or her individuality. My friends, we need to realize that frequently living these small moments of dopamine can lead to a life of never-ending regret, because these habits accumulate over time and they prevent the development of long-term savings. They interfere with your day-to-day necessity expenditures and they rip away your financial stability. So please, I request you, stop spending on things that you don't need, with money that you don't have, for people who you don't like. I think I've spoken a bit now, and I hope that you and the next generations will value this advice, coming from a man with 15 years of life behind him. You only have these many weeks of youth left. And once this is done, you only have these many weeks left to live. Yes, I know it's not a lot. So it's time to truly lock in, because if you get distracted by herd culture and if you follow every trend blindly, then just think about it, that by the end of this, when you are on that hospital bed waiting to pass out, then just how regretful you might be feeling that just if I had focused then, just if I had been myself then, would I have lived my dream life? Would I have lived my dream self? So to conclude, hold your nerve and wait before making any choice. Wait before making any decision. Contemplate its worth in your life for whatever that it may be, and then make a decision accordingly. So all that's left is that now go and live your life to the best of your ability in a way that your older self will not flinch, but will love you for who you are right now at this moment. Thank you so much for listening.